Hello everyone and welcome to another afternoon edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I want to thank you for joining me here on this beautiful day. It's about 45 degrees out here at the range. It's February 12th. I'm doing a whole bunch of videos today that'll be posted over the next couple of days. The video I'm doing now, and this is one that nobody has seen on my channel yet. I've kind of been on a 22 long rifle revolver kick lately, and especially Ruger 22 long rifle revolvers, and I've done it again. Watching the used section at my local gun shop, I found a Ruger SP101 8-shot 22 long rifle revolver. Now, this is a heavy-duty 22 long rifle gun. This particular model I think is from 2015 or 2016. I looked up the serial number, but I forget. It's a single action, double action revolver, just like a lot of the other ones I have. It has a fiber optic front sight on it, so nice bright front sight. Even today in this bright light, I can still see it pretty well. Like I said, it's an 8-shot revolver, and I'm going to go ahead and take some rounds with this. I'm using some Remington Golden Bullet right now, and I also have some Winchester Super X, the good Super X in the 100-round slip cases that works really well. But I'm going to start out with the Golden Bullet, and I'm just going to take some shots with it. This is the first time I've shot this gun. I had a buddy out here at the range with me today, and I actually let him shoot it before I did because he hasn't shot a revolver yet and wanted to let him try some out. So let's see how it goes. The first 8 shots that I take out of this revolver, I'm going to start out in double action, and then I'll go to single action after. So let's see how we do. So first 8 shots out of this gun, not bad at all. Pretty happy with it. It's a heavy trigger, I'll say that. I have an LCR that's a double action only, and that one has a pretty heavy trigger. I think this one maybe a little bit heavier. I know the hammer on this one is really hard to pull the hammer back, but let's go ahead and take some single action shots, and I'm shooting at a target at 10 yards. Let's see how I can do. Not bad. Now I can tell you, I'm no Buffalo Outdoors. And if you're watching Buffalo, I appreciate anytime you watch and comment. I still think it's great that much larger channels than mine actually watch and comment on my videos. I'm just, you know, some small schlub on YouTube making videos because I like shooting guns, and I haven't seen some of the videos that I've done, so I like putting content out there. But I'm not as good at accuracy as, you know, like I said, as Buffalo Outdoors or some of the other guys that shoot. For me, what I've taken to as my mantra is how good am I at practical accuracy. So at 10 yards, 7 yards, 5 yards, maybe even 25 yards, can I hit a group that's smaller than a person? So the targets that I use are 11 by 17, 11 inches wide, 17 inches high. And if I'm shooting that at 10 yards, it's actually simulating shooting at a person much farther away or shooting at a much smaller target like an animal. And I'm typically trying to get groups that are 3 or 4 inches or less at 10 yards on those targets. For me, practical accuracy, if I'm shooting at a squirrel, you know, maybe not a snake, but a squirrel or a groundhog or some other small animal, a woodchuck or a wolf or anything like that, if I can hit that at 10 yards to 20 yards in a 3 or 4 inch group, that's practical accuracy good enough for me. So that's typically what I do. I've been getting a lot of people lately on my channel calling me out saying that my accuracy is terrible. If you watch all my videos, I tell you that I am not a target shooter. I'm not a bullseye shooter. So for me, practical accuracy is more important. can I hit a target that's a man-sized target at 10 yards, 15 yards, 20, 25 yards with a handgun? If I can, and I can get reasonably good place shots, you know, again, the size 4-inch target, you want to hit a lung, you want to hit a vital organ if somebody is a threat to you. So practical accuracy, if you can hit a 4-inch group at 20, 25 yards, that's really good enough. So that's what I usually go for. And I know, the Buffalo Outdoors thing, I keep saying this, he does those man's got to know his limitations. He'd take a gun like this out to 100 yards and hit a 4-inch plate at 100 yards. Someday I'll get there, but I don't have enough time to shoot that much, so I'm doing practical accuracy at 10 yards. So this is the Ruger SP101 in 22 long rifle. This is one that I picked up recently, and you'll see it a little bit more in this video. It's an 8-shot 22 long rifle revolver, and double action, single action revolver. It has a fiber optic front sight, pretty good rear sight. The sight picture on this thing is actually pretty exceptional. It's probably has the heaviest double action trigger I've felt on any 22 revolver. It has actually the double action trigger on it's not too bad. I mean, it's really heavy, but cocking this hammer it probably takes as much force to cock the hammer as it does to pull the trigger in double action. I mean, I struggle to cock the hammer on this. Now, when I got it, there was a couple issues with it. The front sight was basically falling out of the gun, and when I would load the cylinder up with ammo and try to open it, there were a couple of burrs on the frame, and I'll drop some photos in here. So what was happening was when you had a full cylinder full of rounds and you would try to rotate it in the frame or try to open it, those rounds were actually catching on the back part of the frame where those two ridges were, and I ended up having to do some work to it. It looked like somebody had, Hollywooded the cylinder where they loaded it up with rounds, spun it, and then slammed it shut, and it actually had damaged the frame. So I had to take a file and file down on the back of the frame there to make it nice and smooth, and the action on this thing is phenomenal now. The cylinder gap is nice and tight, and it does function really well, but like I said, that hammer is really stiff. And I completely disassembled this one, took the whole frame apart, took the trigger mechanism and everything out of it, cleaned it. There was some gunk in there and it made it a little bit better, but this is still a very heavy trigger. But it really doesn't matter. It's a great double action revolver. It's reliable. I put, a couple hundred rounds through it when I was out at the range, and it fired really well. It's great in the hand. It's a good size. I think it's like a 4 or a 4.2 inch barrel. Like I said, really good sights with that fiber optic front sight. Just an all-around good gun. If you get a chance to shoot one, I highly recommend it. I say that with most guns that I shoot, but not all of them. But I do have the Ruger SP101 and a 357 Magnum as well, and both of them are very well made, very reliable, and excellent firearms. So thank you for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I really appreciate everybody that watches my channel. God bless America. Make sure you support your 2A rights. Make sure that you get people in office that support 2A rights. And remember that freedom isn't free.